say hi. I'm Ed. Nice to see you again. And today we're going to do a short video. I think it's going to be short. What I want to talk about is the idea of, I should mention first of all the date. What is it? This is January 28?
28.
28?
Mm-hmm.
January 28, 2020. And I've got, it's an idea I've been playing with my mind a little bit and talking to some people about. And it's the idea of prayer and or praying. And maybe the framework for it is, it seems to me that when I've thought back to, when I was a kid, from the time I was about 5 or 6, and I went, I was raised Catholic. My mom and dad were Catholic, and my first experience with religion was I had to go to in grade 1, I went to a Catholic school, and then we moved to the country, so that was the end of that. But we did attend a Catholic church, as I mentioned in other videos. But anyway, in my memory, the idea of prayer or praying, at that time, one way of putting it, it seems to me that prayer was a noun, because we would use, the expression was saying one's prayer. And now the people I talk to, evangelicals and those kind of people, seem to talk about praying as kind of a conversation with whatever deity they believe in, I think. Because when I was a kid, the expression was, did you say your prayer? In other words, I mean, maybe looking back, I could think, maybe I'd liken it to kind of a mantra, because I used to say, as a Catholic child, I was taught to say, Our Father, we called it the Our Father. Now, I think most people would call it the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Maybe I'll forget the rest. So there was actually 2 prayers that I said many times. And as I say, that's the way we called it. We said these prayers. The other one was, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are thee amongst women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us now and at the time of our death. Amen. Well, I think I pretty much remember that one. But anyways, you can see both of those, it seems to me, looking back, it was more of a mantra. Because when I did those, the only time I prayed pretty much was, we went to confession. We had to go to confession, and we were assigned to say so many, and it was always Hail Mary and Our Fathers, as they were called. Or sometimes I think you'd maybe have to say the rosary, which was, the way the rosary is formed. There's a crucifix, a short chain, and then a loop of a chain. And there's a certain number of beads around there and everything. And sometimes you'd have to say the rosary. That's the terminology we use. So on the crucifix itself, I think you said one prayer, and then there was maybe 3 little beads together in the neck of the thing. You said a prayer on each of those, and then you moved around I don't know. I don't remember exactly what a rosary looks like. But the one point is, it was very much about saying your prayers as opposed to praying. Now when I talk to people, I ask friends, do you pray? And they say yes. And with my friend, the pastor who I talk with regularly, with him, prayer, it seemed, the impression I get is it's talking to or attempting to converse with the deity. I'm shotgunning hugely, but going back to my Catholicism or childhood Catholicism, what I can remember, I think you could pray to the Virgin Mary, you could pray to different saints. That just occurred to me, which is different because I think within the evangelical thing, and as I told you before, I attended Pentecostal, Presbyterian, Jehovah's Witness, a little bit of Baptist, and I think all of those people would use terminology, once again saying, like prayer, the verb, and I used to think of it as a noun, say my prayers. And so in the way that my religious friends now use that terminology, I think they actually consider that they're talking to God. Now, depending on who you talk to, God may talk back or not, but still it seems to be at least an attempt to converse with this deity. The pastor, in one conversation where I asked him specifically about this, did he talk to God, and he said yes. I asked if God talked back to him, and he said yes. And then when I started to, I was interested in it. I wanted to question how this thing went. And so I asked him, well, in this conversation, and that's as far as I got, and he kind of flipped out on me a little bit and said, I didn't say it was a conversation. Well, I don't know. I said, you're talking to God, and God's talking to you. Maybe I loosely use the word conversation, but I didn't mean to be derogatory or insulting or anything like that. He didn't seem to want to, and he didn't want to talk about the process at all anymore, so I'm not sure. At any rate, now the important thing is, well, let me go back to when I was a kid again. Even though it seemed very mantric, this kind of praying that I did, is I would just go, okay, in the confession, the guy told me I had to say 10 Our Fathers and 15 Hail Marys or something like that. And so I would just count them up. Our Father art in heaven, Our Father art in heaven, I would count them, and then now count up the Hail Marys. And I actually did that. I remember actually doing that. I'm not sure what the hell. It seemed like it was kind of a punishment that you had to do it. Kind of, you think of it when you're in school, if you messed up, the teacher you get a detention and you had to write on the blackboard, I will not chew gum in class 50 times on the blackboard or something like that. So it seemed like that kind of a punishment. What did they call it? It was like that. It's some atonement. Yeah, you're atoning for your sin by saying these prayers. My brain doesn't seem to wrap around how the hell that worked, what it was they thought you were doing by saying some words over and over again, basically a mantra, an extended mantra, how that was part of the process of getting forgiven for whatever sins you had committed. I think that's mostly what I wanted to say about prayer. From looking back, the idea of prayer was, I think it kind of nicely fits to be like a mantra, very much. And after confession, it was like writing on the blackboard, I will not. It was a kind of a punishment, I guess. Okay, I had another thought that I wanted to shotgun off to, and it escaped me. So anyway, it's interesting with some of the religious people I talk to. I haven't talked. I'm pretty much talking about evangelical types, born again Christians, especially, and those types of people. But they all seem to be calling praying as talking to God, and maybe you can pray whether God talks back or not, because some of them say no, they don't hear anything back. Others, like the pastor, he says he does, although I don't quite trust him on that. I think it's a knee-jerk thing because he's so afraid that I'm ridiculing, and I guess I am to some extent, or challenging the idea of him talking to God, and especially the idea of God talking back. There's no trouble talking to God. I do it all the time. It's just, can I say God talks back? Well, there's a conversation that goes like this. It's only happening in my head. There's no audible words at all, but it goes like, hello God, how are you doing? And God, hello Ed. So I changed my voice, in my head a little bit or something. Hello Ed, yeah, this is God. Now, putting aside the idea that how the hell, even if somehow that's not just me talking to myself, we can't even go there. It's me talking to myself. Is that because even if I change the word, hello Ed, it's just something that I'm doing. I have no idea what believers generally think about prayer, or how many of them think that they're actually connecting to this deity and the God, whatever God they believe in, and or the God is actually talking back to them or sending them messages or something. But I just have no idea. But I think it's an interesting concept. Once again, as a kid, when I look back, it looks to me as though it was more of a mantra, just because I would say I have to say my prayers, or I said my prayers after the confession and that kind of thing, as opposed to I didn't say, yes, I prayed. There is, and I can't go into that. I think I remember as a child once thinking, well, okay, maybe this prayer thing has possibilities. How old would I have? 10-ish maybe? Thought, okay, if this got any possibilities, the fact was I wanted a pony in the worst way. We lived on a farm and we could have easily housed a pony, and I desperately wanted a pony. So there was a period, I don't think it lasted too long, I'm not sure, where I tried praying. Part of the problem was I didn't even know how to pray, because like I said, praying to me was saying prayers. Like, what am I going to do? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I want to, and then where does the pony part get in there, So I think maybe I was basically just thinking in my mind, I really want a pony, please give me a pony. So maybe I was trying to influence whatever the heck I thought was out there and anything. Anyway, did I get the pony? Nope, never got a pony. And I think that's, because this thing's getting long enough now. But I may, in future videos and certainly coffee clutches, if I get chances to talk with another chance to talk with the preacher, I'll ask him about what he means by prayer, and I don't know if he'll be willing to suss that out a little bit or not. But anyway, I think it's an interesting idea. I hope you think about it, what you mean when you use that term, and I'm certainly going to monkey mind on it, what I mean when I use the term either prayer or praying. Okay, thanks. That's all for today.